Hello, this is Paul from Senior to Scratch. Today I'm going to be reviewing this lovely electric golf cart trolley. It's a Cart-Tek GRI 1500 Li for lithium ion. I've had this since the 2020 season, so we all remember what happened in 2020. Everybody started playing golf, everything else was locked down, supply chains were shut down, so this beauty was literally the last electric golf trolley in town. So I snapped it up for, I think it was roughly 1,200 loonies, or in greenbacks more like 900 US dollars. It's taken me roughly 1,300 plus miles by my estimates. I've done 220 rounds of 18 holes. Each round is roughly 6 miles. So if you were to walk from, say, Los Angeles to Dallas, or from Vancouver to Winnipeg for my Canadian friends, that would be the distance that this beauty has taken me. And it's literally saved my neck, my shoulders, my back from hauling these clubs around, which probably weigh around 40 plus pounds. So it's done that trick. There's been some downsides to this cart since it's the first revision of this cart. There's been, I think, 3 since then, 2 or 3 since this one. So a lot of the issues that I'm going to address here have been fixed in subsequent revisions of this cart. So let's get into the review. Well, it's fairly compact, probably weighs 20 to 25 pounds. So you do have to use proper lifting technique. And you can see it's as easy as one step to basically pull up the handle and to tighten the screw. And then you've got the lithium ion battery. All it does is just plug into that socket, tighten it down. Got some fairly bulky clubs here. It's got the bungee cord, so you have to be careful when you're taking them off. You don't want to get smacked in the wrong place. And there you go. I did get the remote to work, but I have had issues with this remote where I haven't used it in a couple of years. The battery compartment is not designed well because the batteries don't hold to the connectors well, and this on-off switch is quite cheap, so the cart quite often stopped on me after it was in motion. But I think I got it working. You can see the remote working. The way it turns left and right is it takes the power out of one of the wheels to turn the other one. And the other thing you can see is it does not want to stop. So when you're on a hill, you pretty much have to have it sideways so that it doesn't roll down the hill, because you can see here it's just going to keep moving and I can't do anything to stop it. So as you can imagine, constantly fiddling with this remote trying to get it to work during a round is not exactly conducive to focusing on the golf game. So I'm fairly certain my game suffered partly because of this remote and me being too cheap to buy a new one, which was over $250 with the shipping. So I couldn't justify spending that much on a cart that may not have much life left in it. So when I was using this remote, it was quite handy. You can see the numbers on the remote, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are preset speeds. 4 goes actually quite fast, where you really have to chase after it and steer it straight at the same time. The steering is quite choppy just with the way that the motors work. You can see here we're going uphill on a cobblestone walkway. It is very jerky when you're turning it. And you can see the back wheel engages with the sidewalk because of its tilting, so quite often you do need to give it a hand to get it to push up there. I should also say that the good folks at JPSM Golf, the distributor of Cart-Tek, were very knowledgeable in terms of their customer service. So they did acknowledge the problem with this remote. This is the original generation remote. and they had fixed all the problems with the new remote, but I just wasn't willing to pay for it. So because the remote didn't work, I needed some way to control the cart. So the speed control knob is what I rely on. I don't know if you can hear the motor or not, but it's, you know, it works fairly well. The issue with the original knobs was that they would come off easily. They were sort of crimped in there. When they were jostled, they might come out. Oftentimes I would find it, try to expand the crimp so that it would be more tight, but eventually that wore out. I lost a couple of knobs, had to order them. They were probably $5, but with the shipping they ended up costing $20 or so. And then the last straw was basically that the knob did not turn off the power completely to the motor. So even at the 0 setting, it was still sort of run, which meant I had to really angle the cart so it wouldn't take off on me when I was putting. So what they did is they, once again, JPSM had a design change where it was a different knob, a knob that was much more secure, that attached with wiring inside of this handle piece. And ever since I put that in this year, it works fine. Probably the biggest problem I had with this, and I did resolve it later on, was the battery. I think it was probably around the 2nd or 3rd season where the battery power would run out on me mid-round, so I'd inevitably be having to go up a steep hill. The remote wouldn't work. I tried to control it with the knob, that wouldn't work. Discovering that the battery was out of juice, so I'd have to disengage the wheels and push it up the hill. Another pretty major distraction to the golf game. What I did discover after the fact was the battery was not actually charging. It wasn't the battery's fault, it was the actual charger, and the LED lights indicated that it was charged, but there was just some loose connections and it was actually not charging at all. Got the green LED if it's fully charged, also get the green LED if it's disconnected. Go figure, it only turns red while it's charging. So I would plug it in at night, it would look like it was charging. The wiring would be a little bit loose, it would stop charging. Come in the morning, it would look like it was fully charged. Take it to the golf course and maybe it had like 8 or 9 holes left in it. So that was the biggest problem. Ever since I had that figured out, I never had any problems with the battery. Knock on lithium. So what I should mention is I believe that they sell a percent of charge indicator on the website for the distributor. I think it's only like $37 or $38 plus shipping. So that should tell you if the battery is truly charged or not, or what the percent charge is. So that would be another useful thing if you do buy the Cart-Tek. So in conclusion, would I recommend this cart? Absolutely. I mean, you can't get this particular cart, you can get a newer and improved version of this cart, and I would highly recommend it if you're playing a lot of golf and you're trying to save your neck, your shoulders, your back. It's really invaluable to keep healthy and stay focused on golf. This particular cart, what will I do with it next season? Well, I guess the jury's still out. If there's a good deal on a new one, I will probably replace it. I don't know how much time this battery has left in it, and as you saw before, it's $650 plus to replace the battery. So yeah, so that's it. I'm going to be hopefully reviewing some other golf carts in the future. My buddies have some much nicer carts and I'd like to review those, so stay tuned for that. And once again, hit subscribe and like, and if you want to see future content just like this. Thanks, and see you next time on Senior to Scratch.